Hello everyone, this is Bhavik Chokshi over here. Hope you guys are doing great and kudos to you for reaching up to this stage in your exam where you are probably going to give the first open book exam that you have. So there are a lot of question marks. You have done all the preparation, but these are the final touches, the final finishing points where we would focus today's video on paper number 6E. This is on Global Financial Reporting Standards, where we would discuss broadly what is the broad study plan that you should follow, what are the materials you should carry in the exam, how do you use your reading time in an open book paper, and when do you refer the books in the open book paper, and what are the focus areas that you should focus on while you are preparing. First of all, we will focus on the areas that I want you to focus on while you are revising. At the time of your revision of 1.5 days, if you have given both the groups, you would have done a fairly good reading for financial reporting, and hence a lot of things should be relatively fresh. However, you need an in-depth understanding, including probably a few detailed questions from your GFRS material, especially the case studies. So, you should focus on these 6 specific areas while you are revising. First of all is the institute favorite, financial instruments, within which you will have strong emphasis on compound financial instruments, on loans at off-market rates like loans to employees, etc., given at different rates, and also the classification between financial assets, financial liabilities, compound financial instruments. So a lot of questions in GFR, especially the MCQs, come on what if it's a non-redeemable preference share with a discretionary dividend, and so on. So there would be a lot of cases over here. So focus on these specific parts. Also try to read hedge accounting. I can understand in financial reporting you might have overlooked hedge accounting to some extent because it has not come, but in GFRS, whether you look at the November 20 paper, the Jan 21 paper, or the paper earlier, you have almost always got some weightage from hedge accounting. It is not that the entire paper comes from that, but there is definitely some weightage from hedge accounting, so please do refer that. Then you look at share-based payments. Almost every paper you get a fairly easy and a manageable question on share-based payments. I would not really require you to I would not really recommend that you kind of leave anything to chance over here. The questions may not be very direct as you have in financial reporting. There might be a lot of data on fair values, intrinsic values, modifications, etc. given. So read share-based payment properly. Specifically, just glance through the study material of financial reporting. It's a fairly small topic if you compare it with financial instruments and stuff, and just kind of be aware of what part is covered where. Even if you have not studied it, that's absolutely fine. Be aware of what is covered where, so that when it comes in an open book and if it's a tricky question, you know where to look for. We have also shared an index. If you have taken the online lectures, it would be there, and even if you have not, I'll just share it with you separately on our Telegram channel. It is the same index from our financial reporting. It's a very detailed. In fact, the index goes into around 37 pages to be precise, which will cover each of the subparts on where things are located, so you can directly jump onto the relevant part. Then comes business combination and equity method. Over here, almost every paper that we see, associate accounting. Now, unlike financial reporting, where almost always you get a full-fledged subsidiary-based consolidation, in GFRS you don't get that always. And even if it sometimes comes as a full-fledged question, it is a little more complex. So subsidiary consolidation on its own is not as important as it is in financial reporting, but equity method, a small question of 4 marks, 6 marks, etc., almost always comes on equity method, on associate accounting. Do that properly without fail. In business combination, ensure that you do the parts covering purchase consideration, net assets, and non-controlling interest fairly well. As compared to those full-fledged questions of demerger and acquisition, they don't come as often, but smaller cases on contingent consideration, the accounting for them come more often. So try to focus your energies channelize them in a slightly different direction. First time adoption, a standard which generally students despise of. They don't really enjoy reading this standard, but this standard has got quite a lot of coverage. I can understand that each of these transitionary items may be difficult to understand. You would obviously know the important ones like PP, like foreign currency translation reserve, etc. However, I would recommend you glance through the study material here. I'm again repeating, you don't have to panic if you don't remember each and every point. It's an open book exam, my friends. You have to kind of be aware that if there's a particular transitionary item in Ind AS 101 study material, where is it located? So that if a particular item comes, you can directly jump in that point. So no matter how uncomfortable it looks, at least glance through the study material of financial reporting to see which point is covered where. Revenue recognition and leases, a definite MCQ or a detailed question is definitely coming from revenue as well as leases. So again, as you would have seen, your questions are not fully 25 marks. Each 25 mark question will have a lot of subparts. 10 marks for MCQs, and then descriptive would also be for 2 to 3 marks. So in fact, if you go to see the complexity of a question may even be lesser than what you have in financial reporting, because there's not even a single question that can come for even 16 marks. Questions would be less than 10 marks for each of the places. Revenue recognition, leases, definitely non-negotiable. You have to kind of do these. And a few important indices, like we have seen a lot of questions coming on cash flow. Deferred taxes will definitely get an MCQ or a full-fledged question. PP, especially with impairment, is very, very common to get. Employee benefits, you will get probably a small MCQ. Foreign exchange, along with some other standard will come. Borrowing costs, again, along with PP. Index 33, specifically the part relating to diluted EPS. And provisions and contingencies, the part relating to provisions, contingent assets, a lot of varieties can kind of come over here. That does not mean you don't read the other parts, but you can be a little more swift, fast in the other parts. These are the parts where you have to focus on. So when you look at our study plan, spend the majority of your time in the study plan on the areas highlighted, on the focus areas highlighted that we have just done. So if you have 1.5 days, at least ensure that you invest 60% of the time in these topics only. Do them properly. Refer the contents of the study material vis-a-vis the index. If you have already prepared an index, nothing like it. If not, I will share that on the Telegram channel and you can use that. Please take a printout. Ensure you take a printout and keep that handy. It's an open book exam. As a CA student or academically driven student in India, you would not have handled open book exams. Remember, it is very, very manageable. It is just that you have to be aware of what is located where. It's natural to feel butterflies in your stomach, considering that open book hai kya hoga. It's fairly manageable. Don't worry. In fact, it's a question where it's very, very difficult. You'll have to work hard to fail. If you have 100 marks, 40 marks are MCQs, no negative marking. The books are with you. You have to really struggle not to get 40, right? You will pass. It is not going to be a tough paper. It's not going to be a paper which you cannot handle. In terms of materials, it's always a big question. कि यार हम क्या carry करें? Ensure that you carry your notes for financial reporting. Wherever you have done coaching, उसके जो notes रहेंगे वो आप carry करो, काफी help करता है. So ensure that you have your class notes for financial reporting. Apart from that, in terms of GFRS, if you can carry the GFRS case studies, if you have done, let us say if you have done taken our online lectures, we have kind of covered each of the cases. So if you keep that handy, it is helpful in case something directly comes up. There's no restriction on the amount of books that you can carry. And the index, the most important thing at the top would be your index, which has to be not just carried, which should be known beforehand. So these are the things that you need to do. So do we need to carry ITFG circulars? Do we clarifications or bulletins? Do we need to carry ACCA material, diploma IFRS? वो सब अगर आपने पढ़ा है, if you have even glanced or read about them even once, then yes, you can kind of consider taking them. If you have not, forget it. You don't need to know each of the ITFG things, ACCA materials and DIP IFR materials. If you know it, excellent. If not, well, your knowledge of financial reporting and GFRS would kind of suffice to take you through, so don't really worry about that. Ensure that you do not take any material that you have not earlier referred. You don't want to go on a fishing expedition, as you call it, to kind of just find what is located where. Remember, this is going to be probably the longest paper. Yes, you have 4 hours, but your question paper runs into more than 30 sites. You will have a Herculean task completing this paper because of the sheer size of it. So don't take stuff which you will unnecessarily just spend time turning at max. A question or so you will not be able to answer. And that's not a full 25 mark question, a part of the question. Do not let something that you have not read be with you on the day of your exam. Ensure you have the US GAAP and IFRS comparison material. It's there on the institute website only, so I'm not really sharing it separately. But the latest US GAAP versus IFRS comparison, ensure you download it print it and take that material, the latest one, because US GAAP also has certain changes, and you know what is located where. You are not going to get the entire paper on US GAAP, at best 5 marks, but they are direct. You should just know, okay, there is an Ind AS 12 item where it is on what tax rate to be taken. So you go to Ind AS 12 on the comparison with US GAAP and you see the point of difference and you answer. You don't need to read the entire provisions of US GAAP. No, you have already studied Ind AS, you have already studied IFRS. In your inter CA probably studied accounting standards, so you don't really need to do US GAAP all over again. However, you need to know where it is located so that if a question comes, and probably it will come for 5 marks, you exactly know the location to look for. In the exam, it's a 4-hour paper. In the reading time, it's 30 pages, 15 minutes. You can't read one page in 30 seconds, right? It is impossible and a futile exercise to read each and every question. What do we do, sir? Well, we don't really look at the entire case. We first look at what is asked in each of these questions, subparts, and try to figure out which of these questions is the most easiest for us. Let's say if one of the questions covers Ind AS 101, hedge accounting and stuff, you don't want to start with that. Your reading time should be focused on identifying the question which you want to attempt, because unlike every other question paper, this paper is going to run, irrespective of which open book you select, is going to run anywhere between 25 to 35 sides. Now you can't read all of them in 15 minutes. And it is a futile exercise if you're just reading one or two of them. You have to identify the first case to start, not the case to leave. For identifying the case that you have to leave, you have to read all the cases. We'll go step by step. Read the first case that you have to start, get into the momentum. And for that, you just try to kind of glance through the case. More importantly, look at the required parts, see what they're trying to ask. Are they pertaining to standards which you are comfortable with? If yes, try to go through the main theory and pinpoint that one question that you are starting with. That is how you use your reading time. And so do you refer the materials? If you are confident, even 80-90% confident of an accounting treatment, ensure that you do not waste your time just verifying and confirming it in the book. एक सीधा क्वेश्चन हमने सर पढ़ा है, cancellation of ESOP का आया. We don't try to verify the numbers. We don't have as much time, my friends. It is a very big paper. If you are 80-90% confident in a treatment, proceed. If you are uncertain about a treatment, but you broadly know where it is located in the study material, the relevant part, where is it located in the study material, refer that from the study material. If you are clueless about it, don't even try looking at the material. For you to understand something, reading it for the first time is in any case going to take a lot of time, so you don't have as much time to invest. At the end, if some time remains, that is when you do it. Otherwise, if you're clueless, don't go in what you call as a fishing expedition just to randomly find items in your books. It's futile. Your target while solving the paper, not more than 20% of the paper should be referred to from the book. You go more than that, you're not completing the paper. Trust me, you're not completing the paper. You can't solve everything, then go to the book, refer it, verify. You are not having the entire day to solve the paper. You're having 4 hours. That is roughly 45 minutes or so for one case of 25 marks each, in which probably 5 to 10 minutes will just go in reading and understanding the case study. So you don't have as much time. You have at max 20% of the time to spare to even refer. So be very confident about it. It's a very, very enjoyable exam. Trust me, you are going to come out smiling. Hopefully, at least that is what we pray after the paper. But be confident. It's an open book. It has MCQs with no negative marking. Okay, and another thing is, sir, it's a 2-mark MCQ. Do we need to write explanation? No, Institute has kind of given a clarification. You don't need to write the explanations. If you write, there's no negative marking. But लिखने का जरूरत नहीं है. अगर आपको कोई चीज यहाँ पे working करने का जरूरत है, you do the working to find the right answer. And when you write the final MCQ, ensure that you write it in capitals. So if you select option A, option A. Sometimes in GFRS, we have also seen, and also in other electives, that there may be more than one right answers. Institute in the suggested answers have even given more than one right answers. So if you believe that 2 options are correct and you're fairly confident about them, it's multiple choice. So there can be even multiple answers. While you're looking at the MCQs, be very careful to see what is asked. A lot of times they ask you which of the following statements is incorrect. अपने को incorrect दिखता है, नहीं अपने को सीधा correct ही दिखता है. See what is asked. Which of the following statements are false? Which of the following statements are correct? Ensure that you do that. When you're referring a particular case, do the entire case with the MCQs and the main answers. Do not really do only the MCQs first, main answers later. एक साथ पूरा केस फिनिश करके आगे जाने का. Okay, so that should be it. Thank you very much for your time. Good luck. Goodbye. Take care.